Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name's Katie and I upload book-related videos every single Wednesday, and today I'm very excited to be reviewing a brand new thriller. I think this came out maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago, who knows, I can't keep up with these things. But that is Since We Fell by Dennis Lehane, and if that author's name sounds familiar, that's probably because he wrote books like Shutter Island, which I still have not even seen the movie, so I don't know what the twist is. I just keep hearing that it's great, so don't tell me. And he also wrote Mystic River, I believe, so quite a prolific and very popular author, but I've never read anything by him before. As usual, this review will have 0 spoilers, and I have a surprising number of pros but also cons. I'll just say overall I really liked this book, but I do have some issues with it, which I'll get into. This book is a little bit difficult to summarize, but first, just overall, our protagonist is Rachel Childs, and she's a former journalist who now is kind of a shut-in due to some traumatic experiences and agoraphobia. And this book really has like 2 very distinct, very different parts. It's almost like you're reading 2 different books, but the first half of the book has to do with her kind of becoming a journalist, the pivotal moment for her being when she goes to Haiti after the earthquake to document what is happening there. And in this timeline, she's kind of becoming agoraphobic, and she's also searching for her father, who she never met. And then during the second part of the book, which is definitely much more so of like the thriller aspect, she's married to her second husband. He seems very perfect, but then as like the inside cover of this says, and I won't give anything away, but she starts to notice some lies she's picking up on, and she's starting to realize things might not be as perfect as they seem. So in terms of pros, I really adored the writing style. This is definitely one of those situations where, although I did have issues with the book, which I'll get to when I get to talking about the cons, I can already tell that if I pick up pretty much any book by Dennis Lehane, I'm gonna at least give it, 3 stars. I'm gonna at least enjoy it to a certain degree, just because I really connected with his writing style. It kind of was a similar feeling to how I felt when I read my first Gillian Flynn book. That's not to say I enjoyed this as much as any of Gillian Flynn's books, but I'm sure you guys have had those experiences and you know what I'm talking about. You just pick up a book by an author and you can just sense you're really just gonna enjoy all of their other works. Also, if you're looking for like a thriller beach read that's just super fast-paced and entertaining, that's definitely what the second half of this book is like. It definitely just feels like you're on an insane roller coaster with so many twists and turns, and it's really just, even though it's dark, obviously, it's very dark, it is a lot of fun as well. Now, this book has a ton of twists, and I know some people are like, even saying a book has a twist is a spoiler, but I literally can't think of a single thriller that I've ever read or watched that didn't have at least one twist, so I don't think it's a spoiler for me to just vaguely say there are twists in this, and some of the twists are really fun. I also really cared for Rachel much more than I feel like I've cared about a protagonist in a really, really long time. Now, I do actually have like 3 separate cons, and the first one has to do with her agoraphobia, and this isn't necessarily a fault of the book, but maybe a fault of the way this was advertised, because when you read any of these blurbs, it makes it seem like, and this I think would have been really interesting, but this is not what the book's about, it makes it seem like a woman is married to a man, and as she's agoraphobic is realizing there's something off here and she needs to get out of the situation, but because she's agoraphobic she can't leave the house. And that's not at all what this book is about. Yes, she deals with agoraphobia, but by the time we get to the second half of the book where she's married to said person, the agoraphobia is really not an issue anymore. So when she starts questioning things about him, it's not like she's like scared to be at home with him but can't leave because she's agoraphobic. I actually think that would have been a super interesting concept, but that's just not what the book's about. And again, I guess that's not really a con, but I feel like the advertising was a bit off there. Also, in terms of the twists, and again, I'm not going to say what any of them are, but there's one twist that just in my mind makes absolutely 0 sense and is so far-fetched. You've read the book, and again, don't worry, not going to say what it is, but it's just someone's justification for why they did something, and if you've read the book, you'll know what I mean, and it just doesn't make any sense. Now, if you read any reviews online, the main con and the main reason some people did not like this book is because, like I was talking about when I was giving the summary of this book, it definitely feels like there are 2 distinct books within this book, and they don't feel like they're super connected. Now, personally, this wasn't a huge con for me, just because yes, the first literal half of the book is essentially building up to this thriller aspect. So if you're going into this just wanting to read about the aspect of her and her husband, and her kind of trying to figure out what's going on, that's only half the book, so maybe just keep that in mind if you're thinking about picking this up. But literally half of it is about her being a journalist, being in Haiti, being married to her first husband, and trying to figure out who her father is, and particularly the aspect of who her father is. I didn't see what really that had to do with the second aspect of the book. I kept wondering, like, is this going to be connected or not? Again, I enjoyed his writing so much that that didn't really bother me, me, but definitely kind of take that into account if you're thinking about picking this up. So that's overall how I felt about Since We Fell. Although it did have some cons, I definitely want to pick up some more Dennis Lehane in the future. So if you guys have read any of his other books, definitely let me know if I should check it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.